ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Status Go, a podcast about what it takes to thrive among the challenges of enterprise technology. My name is Paul Wooten. I'm the Sales Enablement Lead for Intervision. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Zack Moore. Zack's the Senior Product Manager of Cybersecurity at Intervision. He designs services focused on zero trust, SSE, and other security technologies. In addition, he orchestrates the product and service catalog that supports customers throughout their zero trust journey, which we're going to talk about today. And that provides everything from introductory workshops to comprehensive technology implementation and ongoing service management. Zack, welcome today.
Thanks for having me, Paul.
All right. Well, let's get started here. Zero trust. That's what we're talking about. It's been gaining traction lately. Can you start by just explaining what zero trust means in practical terms for business?
Absolutely. So, zero trust can best be summed up by the simple phrase never trust, always verify.
Mm,
So, zero trust isn't a singular product or technology or standard. What it is a security model where you emphasize identity and access control and continuous monitoring, where every interaction between any user or other resource is rigorously inspected and constantly authenticated to make sure that everyone who's talking on your network is who they say they are, and we know that.
all right. So when you're talking about zero trust, some people are familiar with it, some people are not familiar with it. What do you think really surprises people the most when they start looking into zero trust? Are there any common misconceptions that you see?
Absolutely. Because it's not a singular thing to implement, it's not a single technology stack to adopt. There's no quick fix here. There's no single solution. There's no buy something, plug it in, and now you're there.
Mhm.
It's a complex and often transformative rather than additive change where you need to do a lot of upfront planning and plan for a phased approach so that you can be successful with your journey, because it's not something that just impacts one business process, but all your business processes.
All right. So I'm sure you've seen a lot of success with companies rolling out zero trust. So, how do you see the most successful companies rolling out zero trust?
You start with your use cases, with your business cases. You start with the outcomes that you're looking to achieve, and you build backwards from there. The focus on where you're trying to get, on your goals, on what you're trying to accomplish, is really going to drive how you adopt the technologies and all of the different pieces within the zero trust model. So you start at the end and then you work from the beginning. And maintaining your compliance and minimizing your disruption should be a focus.
All right. And that beginning is always, or generally, maybe the hardest part for most companies. So, where do companies even start with zero trust? What is the first move they should be making on their zero trust journey?
Knowing where you want to be, those use cases, and then from there, assessing your gaps, assessing your risks,
Mm,
and then looking at the individual technologies and products and policy changes that need to be made to get there, building that roadmap and focusing on and making sure you stay focused on outcomes first is
mm.
really the start.
Very key on that too. Now, of course, we've started, but you really don't want to jump in all at once. So, why does phasing in zero trust make sense? What's the best way to do that without causing chaos?
You want to maximize your benefits and minimize your disruption. So you want to avoid breaking systems. You want to make
Mm,
sure you're doing POCs and pilots. You want to make sure that you're planning everything because, as I said before, it is more transformative than additive in many cases. So you want to make sure that you're not causing more user and more security disruption than you are when you're adopting.
oh, very smart advice right there. Now, zero trust isn't new. It's been around for a bit, but it feels like it's just everywhere now, especially since COVID. What do you see as driving that?
There are a few factors. COVID was a big one in we saw the idea of remote and hybrid workers go from being the exception to the norm. Now, many
Mhm.
businesses have half or more of their workforce working remote half or more of the time. In addition to that, there have been a lot of trailing factors that have just been growing over the years with things like the amount of malware that's out there, the complexity of malware, and the complexity and efficacy of malicious actors and attacks. Really, you need the zero trust framework to minimize the damage that those bad actors and those attacks will do when they inevitably get past your security and into your systems.
Yeah, seems like we can't go past one day without a new, malware attack or anything else happening at this point. So the important thing, we've done the first steps, we've done the phasing, we've got zero trust up and running. So what kind of results can businesses expect?
Well, in addition to the standard of adopting a new security model with your improved security, improved visibility, improved resiliency, there's also a lot of different types of business outcomes that businesses can expect to achieve with things like better end user experience, better efficiency. There are cost savings that can be found when you're adopting things like SASE and SD-WAN and things like that, and a lot of different customized business outcomes that are specific to the type of industry you're in and actual business processes based on these new technologies and how they work, the increased visibility, the increased monitoring, and things like that.
Okay. And just to build on that, it's up and running, they're on their journey. So what can they do to keep pushing forward and constantly improving on their zero trust journey?
Make sure that you're getting the maximum ROI of what you are implementing. We've seen a lot of customers that start moving into new technologies and things like that that they don't really understand. And so they're only using a fraction of what they're paying for. They're not getting full ROI. So making sure that you're constantly doing gap analysis and making sure that you're looking to make sure you're getting maximum ROI on what you're implementing, and then also make sure you're constantly staying focused on those business outcomes. You're building towards something rather than trying to implement technology.
Yeah, it's a very, very timely topic. Zach, I really want to thank you for taking time to speak with us today. And I want to thank everybody who is listening. Remember to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and visit intervision.com to learn more. Zach, thank you very much again for everything.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, everybody, have a good day. We'll see you soon.